All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are here today to give a recap on Sharrellsworld Sham interview with Larry Reid and Loaded Wigs, TV. And so, if you're a new subscriber, thank you for subscribing. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you for returning. All right. So if you guys have not watched or if you have not been a part of the YouTube conversations, we have Larry Reid that's in the headlines, and we have Levontre Andrews that has come forward and has done an interview with Tasha K and others. And I feel like the interview yesterday was just not given what it was supposed to have gave. To be honest, I feel like there was a lot of drawback. I think that, and this is from observation, and everything here is speculation. Okay. So let's be clear on that. Disclaimer, copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act, 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarships, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips a balance in favor of fair use. This video was made for entertainment purposes and is transformative in nature. All right, so happy Saturday. Right? And Queen Tulsa's show, Queen Tulsa, is always live in the field. Queen Tulsa is a content personality that's broadcasted on YouTube, Instagram, and other social media. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel, to this independent channel for the people. Donations go to building this platform. Thanks for taking the time to watch. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. Remember to hit the like, share, and subscribe buttons. All right. So I'm here today to recap the interview, but I want to go down memory lane and give you all a concept or an idea of how Conscious TV and Tasha K's interaction was when they were on good terms, right? Because I'm not really sure why they fell out, and we're really not going to get into all that. But I would like to say this. We've got to be honest and transparent when we are giving our commentary, right? So let's bring up the facts, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you please hit the like, share, and subscribe button. One moment.
Motherfucking history of really bringing niggas under her tutelage, okay? The kind of commentator, and she's not the type of LLC, she's not the type of entity that just says hi and occasionally breathes through your motherfucking hey Tasha.
Whatever, Conscious. What's going on?
What's going on?
What's going on? I'm up all night, man. Got these goddamn gifts. What's going on?
So I'm just trying to, shit, you tell me what's going on. I'm just trying to figure out what's going on, because apparently
I'm on Wiley's side too. I'm just across the street. That's all. That's what I told him. Listen, you do what you do, I'm just across the street now. So if there's any, we just won't be having no conversations no more. That way nobody can say Tasha K had a hand in this mess. Because the boy get triggered every time. Wiley can bring up something that happened 3 years ago. That nigga gonna station head, motherfucking be live 4-5 hours. I'm like, come on now, Wiley, why you? And he be laughing about it. I'm like, listen, like there's got to, if you want to talk about something that's new, that's fine. But it ain't new, and you keep like banging a fucking dead drum. I'm never gonna be cool with him, and I was clear with that. I was clear with him today, like, and he knows why. It wasn't like I came on social media and was like, "This is why I don't like him. I'm not cool with you." So guess what? You gonna throw shots? I'm gonna throw shots too. There's nothing.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, so here is Tasha 1 year ago letting Conscious know how she moves, how she's going to maneuver, and things like that, right? So there's no secret in how Tasha is moving. Tasha has a job to do. If you didn't know her as LaTasha, you're fair game. If you didn't know her as LaTasha and not Tasha, see, when you met Tasha K, that's a whole nother entity, a whole nother situation. But let's get into it, because if people want to bring out the facts, let's bring out the facts. Conscious and Tasha was cool at one point. Tasha, Conscious, and her employee were cool with Conscious at one point. But let's get into it.
More to say, but like, I don't like the antagonizing part of it. You know what I'm saying? And even when I have beef with celebrities, I address them. I don't fucking like, kiki with them and then come fucking drag. I don't do that shit. And contrary to what people are saying about Alicia Keys and Swiss, I'm cool with their mama. I'm not cool with them.
Ooh.
You see what I'm saying? Like, there's a difference. And I made that very clear, because every celebrity that has come in my...
So when we're talking about celebrity, Larry is a celebrity. He is on BET. And I think we all know what Tasha gives. When it came to Cardi B, when it came to her giving these stories. I mean, she had an energy about her. I mean, she was loud. She drank her wine. She would tap the glass. And she would get everybody intrigued. She would get everybody involved. Right? So let's get into it.
Circle came when they met me as Tasha K, not LaTasha. There's a difference. So I still got a motherfucking job to do. And I love to use that Nicki Minaj analogy, because here's the thing, we cool, but just because we cool don't mean I'm gonna sign an NDA. If I sign an NDA for you, I might as well not be in court with Cardi. What the fuck? Right. It's the same shit.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
What's the fucking point? I'm not bending for nobody. But at the same time, I don't antagonize people like that, especially if I'm cool with you. I don't do that. I can call the celebrity up. Yo, this is what the fuck I got. What's your point on it? They give me their point. They choose not to. I choose whether or not I want to roll with the story.
Okay, so let me ask you this question then, Miss K.
Okay, so here comes the questions, and I want you guys to be very clear on this engagement, this encounter. I want you guys to be very, very, very clear with this. And actually, let me go ahead and get our relaxation going, okay? Because it is Saturday, right? Let's get into it.
Because our bald-headed secular man of God has said that for him, if any nigga in his motherfucking life can be talked about. He said what he
Right.
will do is, if he fuck with you, he'll make sure he keep that in mind.
Right.
But you're up for conversation.
Right. And I never told Wiley he couldn't. I just said, Wiley, listen, if I'm fucking with you, it looks like I'm having conversations in the background and I know about what's going on. And so it further antagonizes our mind. You know, I don't talk to you about him. I don't talk to nobody about that man. I've said what I said to that man. That was it. You see what I'm saying? So it looks messy. So what I said was, listen, you could continue to put names in the title, but I'm just backing up. And my husband told me I was wrong. He was like, I shouldn't have made that video. I said, but you know, when I secretly back away from motherfuckers, they really go screaming. So I just wanted to make it clear. I didn't want nobody in his chat talking about, I know this Tasha ain't been over here, So I had to talk with him at first, but I should have been a little bit more strategic about how I went about it, because I didn't want it to end up how I ended up today. People attacking his mental health and all that shit. Like, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, they going off.
Yeah, they was, and that's what made me really get on station here. Like, my chat was like, "You hear this?" I'm just like, "What the fuck going on?" You know, because we got group chats on Instagram, and I'm like, I told him, I said, "Listen, I'm about to go live with Wiley because this shit got to stop. This shit got."
So, hearing that, Tasha was considerate of Wiley's mental health and people going at him, right? But who's on the phone? Conscious is on the phone. They're good Judies. They're in good space. No one has violated each other. She's an awesome person. And keep in mind, Conscious is aware of the content that she puts out. Okay? So it's the selective outrage for me. It's this, I want a mentor type of vibe, that energy. Conscious wanted Tasha allegedly to save him. Oh yeah. Kind of like, what's that guy's name? Storm. Oh, absolutely. They're looking for their come up. And if you really look at this and how people are operating and moving, no one really is to be trusted. Because when you talk about payouts, there's been a few $500, super stickers or super cash or whatever you call it on here. I wish somebody would send me $500. Okay. But see, I'm on the side of right. And it is what it is. I do feel like there should be a court. This should go through the courts. And we should just, let the courts decide. But I feel like when you interview someone, it's so important to be prepared. I just kind of feel like that interview was all over the place. I'm not really sure, what Conscious role is in this. Is he an attorney or, is he the spokesperson for SA? Because it sounded like a lot of bashing to me. It sounded like a lot of victim shaming. And I feel like nobody gets the right to tell somebody when to come forward. That is not your pain. That is not your situation. You don't have the right. That's not your right. You don't get the right to tell somebody when they find their strength. It's not for you. It's not your choice. It's not your decision. If this man said that he was violated, whether if you believe him or not, there are proper channels that are supposed to have been followed. And somebody dropped the ball. Oh, yeah. Somebody dropped the ball. But when we talk about relationships, I wanted to bring the Conscious and Tasha K's relationship to the forefront. They were good Judies. They worked together, you know? And Conscious thought because there was a big panel in Party and Showdown on his panel that was his ticket to mentorship. And unfortunately, I gotta pop your bubble, but that didn't happen that way.
Gotta stop. And that's what, and that was my point. You see, like, people will attack him because of his association with me, but don't add fuel to the fire. When you say you want to grow and you want to get to the next level, YouTuber news don't get you to the next level like that. It's mainstream news.
Right. But see, Wiley knows, Tasha, that he's not gonna pick up the kind of traction like you or Larry would.
Tasha said it. It's the mainstream. He wants to get picked up by mainstream. You know? And despite what Tasha has been through, what she's done, I feel like, you know, yes, she did get sued. And I think that she's going through the proper channels to pay her debt to society. Right? Yes, it'll always be over her head, but she's paying her debt to society. And we don't get the right to tell her, hey, unscrew that light bulb. You're shining too bright, or you're bringing these stories too fast. We don't get the right to tell her that. She has the right to her freedom of speech. Let's get into it.
Because y'all have a sustainable audience, so y'all can keep it restricted to just celebrity news, while maybe smaller content creators got to pour from various sectors for their little click and a view and their little Google AdSense, because the struggle is real for smaller content creators.
That's not true. That's not true. I was a smaller content creator.
Thank you so much. Because of smaller content creators, we give great content. Everybody, see, this is the thing. It's all about, you know, when people, they hit a certain number, they feel like, oh, they just better than somebody. You know? And I'm only at 2K and a little over. But even at 2K, I've already started for my members key steps into starting their YouTube channel. So as I'm building, I want to bring them up and teach them as I go as well. So we're going to meet once a week, and that's every Tuesday. And we'll meet for half an hour. I called it a mini meet because it's only like 25 minutes, half an hour. But I just feel like us smaller content creators, don't belittle us because we don't have the following that you have. Don't belittle us because our numbers aren't what you have, because you have to understand this. You started off at the bottom as well. But let's get into it.
name. I think YouTube was just subscribing people to get people to grow. I built my channel one video at a time with mainstream news. So, but I never delved in the fucking the YouTuber news, because YouTuber news, it only gets you so far. And
Now,
and
Tasha,
what's up?
now you know, Tasha.
What's
Hold
up?
on, let me pour some more in your wine glass real quick, because I want you to be drunk.
I'm drinking water tonight. I'm
Okay.
sick. Goddamn it.
Now you was over on another content creators who go by some type of doctor or pastor and was endorsing a whole reality show and stuff from this particular sector, because apparently there is some redemptive quality.
Yeah,
in that
absolutely. I was
particular
gonna
sector.
sell it. Absolutely. But you need somebody to take it mainstream. It's not mainstream. You need somebody to take it mainstream.
True.
Right.
But I'm just
So Tasha told Conscious TV a year ago that she was going to be moving in the sector of what she's in now, and that's exposing pastors. This was a year ago, people. So when you want to talk about receipts and you want to talk about loyalty, is given whose team is Conscious really on, because he's good at giving you the poker face. Is he dragging Larry Reid down? You know what I mean? And I'm just going off previous interactions. This is just research. Oh, wow. C. Marie Woody says, Queen Tulsa, I didn't know you had a channel. I'll be tuning in. Thank you so much. All right, guys. So I just put a posing question in on the poll. I said, do you think Conscious TV is responsible for the flipation between Tasha and Larry? Do you think that? It's just a question, because sometimes our friends or our associates or our peers can jump into situations that clearly has nothing to do with them, and they want to give their 2 cents. Let's take the poll, guys. Absolutely. All right, so let's get into
making the point that if you see the value in it, and you know that it could be pitchable and sellable and marketable if it got actually picked up and acknowledged by somebody in the right place like yourself, then, because Wiley had said the same thing about even that sector too, that sector always had the potential to go over the moon. It just ain't got picked up. So he just still doing what he gotta do, because we can see clearly from Wiley's views that it ain't like his numbers are like over 10K. So he can talk about mainstream news. He can talk about a Nicki Minaj. He can talk about, you know, whoever, and he's still averaging out on a good 4K, 5K.
So, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, a person, and Tasha doesn't seem pressed. It's more of Conscious TV. Conscious has like over 20, I think he has like 41K. He's not monetized. And it's like, I don't know like where he came from, because like I haven't been seeing him doing content lately. And it's like when Larry Reid had went and sat down at Storm's place with Armand, you know, that meeting right there was giving me like Tiffany Haddish, Aries Spears, because it was just like, it was a joyful conversation for them. I didn't really take that interview serious. It's like these YouTubers, I mean, it's really like, it's given payola. Are you guys, my question is, I want to know, were there any donations? Were there any thank yous, flowers, edibles, arrangements sent out to the individuals that have been given interviews with Larry Reid? Because I don't feel like they're asking the important questions. And then you have this person up there looking like Salt and Pepper, their fourth member, trying to push it. And really, I feel like he needs to push it out the way. Push it out the way. Let Larry do his thing. And, you know, Larry's saying that this will cost about $800,000. Well, when you say a payroll, why is Conscious sitting up on a panel? Because I feel I'm a little triggered, because I feel like I was blindsided. Sharrell told us that Larry Reid would be on the show. She did not say his spokesperson. She did not say his PR. She did not say his assistant. She did not say his mentee. That was never in the conversation. But speaking of conversations, let's go ahead and roll on over and just dissect this conversation. Oh, yeah.
To buy my baby mama Birkin bag. She did. I know she said that one because I saw that written out. So that was libel. And quite a few other things as relates to money, raising money on my platform and not using the money for what I raised it for.
Wow, that's a lot.
Well, can we also not forget wearing my pussy out in the backseat of the car?
Oh my God.
It was that statement right there for me, guys. Like, Conscious was so worried about getting his 10 or 15 minutes of fame. You know, he decides to say, well, yeah, let's address her saying that you was wearing my pussy out in the backseat of a car. That was not what you were there for. You got on that coat, bundled up in your home. Like, girl, what is it really giving? You looking possessed. I mean, you all bundled up. The other panelists, they're relaxed. The temperatures are right in their house. Not really sure what statement you were trying to make, but I wasn't feeling it.
Conscious.
That's true. That's true, though. That's true.
You
So guys, Conscious is getting his glory because now he feels like he's been vindicated. And, you know, can you blame him? you know? I mean, Larry, which is supposed to be his mentor, right? So Larry, whom's supposed to be Conscious's mentor, you know, went and sat down in person with Storm Monroe and Armand Wiggins, right? And that made Miss Thing Thing feel a certain type of way. Hey, Sonia, how are you? Welcome to the party. Welcome to Saturday's brunch. But let's get into it. I feel like, in my opinion, this was a joke. You know, this was a make a funny. You know, they're already there talking about allegations against Larry Reid about the smashing, right? And Conscious wants to make joy and make light of, oh, well, let's bring up, you know, how she said that you had me in the back seat wearing my bussy out. Like, he was very uncomfortable about that statement. But go off.
Say that Tasha K and Bishop Whitehead is running a smear campaign on you. What will be their motive for doing this?
Well, you know, I did have a relationship. I actually think it's all four of them. The YouTuber, Levon Trey, although I do think they're using him, his mom, and his wife, and whoever other disgruntled member they can find from the past that I don't have any relationship with at all anymore. And Whitehead and Tasha. Tasha, I had a relationship with. Whitehead attempted to have a relationship with me for over a year and to come on my platform, and it was a consistent ask, and some other lady in my
Okay. Guys, I'm just really over this because when you speak about character, right? We have Dr. Larry Reid, right, in this position. Now, this is a man who went to college, allegedly, and got his doctorate. And, you know, I'm wondering, where was the common sense? Where was the common sense? Because you are a leader, you are a pastor, you are a man that houses families, you know? You provide shelter. You know, you're the man. But let's get into it.
inbox asking on his behalf, wanting to connect and do something on my platform. One time it was against A.R. Bernard, and another time it was against something else that was happening in one of the boroughs. But I was a no. When I met him, I just did not click. It just did not click for me. And I love people, but it just didn't click for me. And my mentor was like, no, this is Bishop Whitehead. You know, he showed us his thick Bible and everything. And I put it on my stories. I was getting to know him then. But
well, in my opinion, you know, Bishop Whitehead, you know, very flashy guy, you know. He's got his Louis Vuitton, he's got his Chanel, he's got his Versace, and then you have Larry Reid, right? So was his flamboyancy, was that too much? Did he have on too much lip gloss? Was his pants too tight? You know? Was he just not your type?
within the first 24 hours of engaging him just for a few hours on 2 days, I was able to discern and detect that this man was not who he said he was. I didn't believe him at all. And so I told my mentor that, and I attempted to still stay cordial with him, but it just turned into him calling me on FaceTime all the time and me not answering.
Okay. So you're saying the motive is what's that he just is upset with you? What's the motive?
I think his motive is because he wanted a relationship with my spiritual.
Listen here, guys. Listen. We don't own anybody. You know, let's just say that. We don't own anybody. Anybody can work with whomever they want to work with, in my opinion. We don't own anybody. Can we please hit the like button, guys? Thank you so much. Let's get into this commentary, because this is a lot, and we're going to break it down, because I'm just not understanding how such an educational pastor, you know, could not have a sense of discernment. Could not have a sense of discernment. And that bothers me. Welcome to Saturday brunch. Go ahead and get your tea, your coffee, your water. I've got ginger ale. But let's get into the commentary.
Father, and I sort of like blew the whistle on him because I had a more closer relationship with my spiritual father, and my spiritual father listened to me and began to watch him, and then Whitehead proved me correct, and he went off on one of his Bishop Jordan's friends, which is Bishop Carlton Pearson. Leandria checked them, cussed them out, you know, in the green room. So he just did a few things very harsh against women in the LGBTQAI plus community, and that caused my mentor to cut him off cold turkey. And
Well, there are allegations. I don't know how true they are, but you've gotten physical with some of your past partners. And did he disconnect with you? You know? Was there any type of guidance that you received from your past, and you can't, you know, you allegedly putting your hands on somebody? One of your partners allegedly. I just got questions.
I believe that was some kind of injury to him. Same thing with the YouTuber. I think I injured him by something that I said. I didn't know who he was. He was in my chat. Didn't even know he was emailing me for a long period of time, trying to get my attention. And also my other friend, Bishop George Bloomer, he was emailing him, trying to get on his show. But I saw him in the chat, I think when Conscious was interviewing me. And whatever he said, I said, whoever this is in the chat, I don't know who it is, and they're insignificant. So that injured him, and from that day forward, he went from fan.
Y'all, is it me? Or does it look like Conscious is really going through it over there, trying to fight back the tears, you know? This was his only way, you know? This was his only way. And people are trying to strip him of his mentor. Absolutely. Now, Sharon, listen here. You're not going to come over here and make an announcement. You didn't even send a donation. Okay? Listen here. I have a job to do. Sharon, I don't come on your job and try to tell you how to do your job, okay? I have a job to do. And if you look at the content from start to finish, then maybe you'll see what's going on. Okay? So while you didn't put on your tennis shoes and grease up with Vaseline and put your hair in a ponytail to show up to this brunch, I need you to go over there and wash your hands, grab a plate, and kick back and relax. Let's get into this commentary.
And to fall. And then me and Tasha K, we were cool. We were at least friendly. And I think it's safe to say I was a friend to her, and not just to her, but her husband as well. I assisted her in many different ways. Any story you saw her do with a preacher, a call was put to me. The whole John Gray last thing, I was the one behind the scene. Even her Patreon, her app, and all of that's me. And my suggestions and my direction, I already had these things in operation prior.
And Sharon, if you're still here, I feel like it was a sham investigation because there was supposed to have been an interview with Larry Reid, not Larry Reid, Sharrell, and Wig. Wig is the reason that we're all here today. Wig is the reason why Larry is in the situation that he's in. Wig wants that Beyonce acknowledgement. Wig is only good as Malago Grams was in the Tory Lanez case. So sis, if you want to talk about it, I'll drop the link. Oh, we can discuss it. Absolutely, Sharon. Here's the link, honey. We can discuss it. There's a link for Sharon. But let's get back into the sham investigation.
And I think somewhere down the line, something in her heart and mind clicked as it relates to me. And she just held it from me and continued to be friends until it was about a 2-week period of a few things happening back to back. Then she came live one day saying all of this horrendous, horrific stuff. And that was a shock, just as much as a shock to everybody out there that saw me on her platform, me and her sit down with about Kirk Franklin and some other stuff. It was a shock to me. And still today, it's like, wow, I don't really know what happened. Yeah.
So just one day you looked up and she turned on you. It would be safe for you to say, I must have did something to piss her off.
Yeah, I thought about it. I did make a comment about her Cardi B case on my platform, and it came up in her commentary later. So I realized that was something that she didn't like. When she went live with Conscious and said that I raised $25,000 and didn't pay a lawyer bill, I had to correct her and tell her something that the lawyer that we shared mutually didn't want me to tell her because she said she feared that Tasha would say something.
So when you talk about a man that has been to college, that possess these qualities, right? Mary got a family, got kids, you know? And you don't think for 1 second he don't lives in the flesh for a little bit, you know, throughout the day? listen here. It's the street code. It's like I'm just not understanding. Like, if you have somebody that you consider messy, you know, she's got a big mouth, why were you in close proximity of someone like that? And we all talk about this, right? Once people reach a certain level, you know, they got to change up their circles. I mean, like, not change up the circles, but it's certain places that you can't visit. Like, you just, you put yourself in a vulnerable position when you go back to the hood, and then you got these crowd of people that feel like, oh my God, this dude, he keep coming around, he's stunting. Oh, he got this car, whatever the case may be, and they want a piece of it. So when you are financially stable, not saying just be a total a-hole, but it's, you move different. When your money change, you move different. But let's get into it.
Live or pop off. And so I had to tell her that. Then I shared information from one YouTuber, Armand Wiggins, about a relationship that broke down between him and Jason Lee. And so I said, could I share this with Tasha? He said, yes. I said, I'll put it in writing so what I'm saying can't be twisted. And I screenshotted it, sent it to him. And at the same time, I told him not to tell nobody. She sent it to another YouTuber, and he was live in 1 hour telling everything that I had put in that text. So she had to apologize to me publicly for that as well. And at the same time, she had asked me for a $250,000 investment, like a loan. And but all this stuff happened before I could even get back to her. And so our relationship was cut.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. It was probably the $250,000.
Well, to be honest, we don't know what it was about. Right? Allegedly. We don't know what it was about. I feel like what should have happened was, if Sharrell wanted to be of service, I think she should have reached out to Tasha K as well. Even if, you know, Tasha K wasn't able to do like the interview per se, but maybe like do a call in and get that question answered. Or the question would have been like, if I was running that interview, I would have asked the question, well, Larry, being that, you know, you and Tasha, you know, have gotten this position, is there some type of way that y'all can at least come together and solve the case together? You know, when you are putting, you know, when you put in for your situation, you know, you send her those transcripts. So if she's going to be telling a story, can she add that on into the documents as well? But see, what it is that brother is coming out to talk, not this Sunday, but next Sunday. So Levante Andrews' brother is going to be coming out talking. And so we're going to get a whole different perspective. My thing is, we all don't want to put our eggs in one basket. You know? And we're not saying anybody's guilty. All this is speculation. Okay? Let's get into it.
alone. that might have did it. That might have did it. All right. So it's going around on the internet that you have a lot of houses that you put boys in. Why are you housing so many people? How does this? What is that?
Now, I feel like that was an amazing question. That was an amazing question. I think it was an amazing question. Okay. Because it sounds like one of those home healthcare services. You know, it's like, okay, was they running a home healthcare service where they were housing individuals with disabilities? That's what I thought it was. But Larry Reid was housing, he said, families, predominantly, I believe, single families. But the kids would stay at the house and the parents would go and do missionary work. I'm not really sure how it all went out, but I'm just curious. Just one, hello, how are you? Welcome to the party. Welcome to the brunch. Absolutely. So, guys, have you watched the interview? What are your thoughts? What are your feelings? You know? Do you think it was a good interview? Make sure you guys are hitting the like. Make sure you take that poll. And I did drop the StreamYard link down in the chat in case anybody wants to come up and engage.
It's not true, number one. It's not true and has never been the case at all in the entire life of my ministry at all. It's just a narrative that they're putting together. My ministry was nothing but families. We had probably 9 single people, the life of the ministry, because I was married most of the years I was pastoring. So we just duplicated husband and wife teams and families. But there were a few that came with their son.
Teams? What was it? Was y'all playing football? I mean, what type of organization? Was it team 1, team 2? I mean, how many teams was it? What were y'all offering these teams? You know what I mean? When you say teams, and when you say we're taking in people, what did mentorship entail? You know, was it just church? Was it mental health services? Was it counseling? Was it a behavioral home? Was it a shelter? Was it a jail? Was it a slave plantation? Was it a grooming plantation? What were those individuals being housed for, and with whom?
Son or their daughter as single parents, and we did take care of them.
Coming in because your church moved, right? Or something?
Yeah, it started in Fayetteville, North Carolina in 1998. And then in 2007, it moved from Fayetteville, North Carolina, March of 2007 to Raleigh, Durham area. And it stayed there until 2015. And the last 2 years, it went totally 100% via virtual.
Is it safe to say so? A lot of them were, you just paid for people to come up and move with you?
Child. I mean, does that make sense? It sounds like he paid people to come move. It sounds like, okay, were you claiming these people on your taxes? Even Jesus drank wine is in here. She is cracking up. Welcome to the Saturday brunch. Go over there and get you a plate of food. Find you a table. And enjoy. Yes, that's what we're doing this Saturday. So, guys, when I'm gonna say this again, educated brother, went to school, you know, he's Dr. Larry Reid. You know, but it's like, where is the critical thinking? Where is the critical thinking?
Well, yeah, and I didn't have to, but I did because they didn't want to stay in Fayetteville. Raleigh, Durham area. I had already moved to Atlanta, but I was driving back and forth to the.
To say so, a lot of them were, you just paid for people to come up and move with you?
Well, yeah, and I didn't have to, but I did because they didn't want to stay in Fayetteville. Raleigh, Durham area. I had already moved to Atlanta, but I was driving back and forth to the church in North Carolina. And a lot of them wanted to be where I was.
Okay. It's giving Monica, I will cross the ocean for you. I will be your hero, your moon. But were you being all that to your wife? Because from the commentary that I've been hearing is, you know, I guess the reason why him and his wife divorced because he was too busy in the church. And I think that Just Z says, I think he was getting funding for housing at-risk youth as well. He was probably required to give spending money, church's business. You know what? Now that makes a lot of sense because churches, they don't pay taxes. You know, they get the tax-free card or whatever. And so, yeah, you're getting all this money and you're going to have to account for where it's going. So, yeah, that does make sense. And then these housing. But my thing is, if they did have the housing, and I feel like if Larry Reid did, you know, could back up, you know, what his mentorship entailed, or, you know, what was the okay, you come, I pay for you to come here for you to do what? Okay, I'm giving you money or I'm taking care of you for what? How is that going to be justified? Okay, so was there a mentorship plan? Was there an action plan for these individuals? Was there an intake? You know, was it just church? Was it mental health services? Was it counseling? Was it a behavior home? Was it a shelter? Was it like a jail? I mean, was it a grooming palace? Was it a slave plantation? What was it? And I think that's the part I mean, because you can say, oh, I have a good heart, this, that, and the third. Okay. You have somebody. Well, you know what? Let's go ahead and get into this commentary, and I'll sound off a little bit more. All right, Just Z says, yes, probably on paper. Okay, you know what I mean? Like, I need to know what is going on, because I just feel like those questions wasn't asked. But then I think maybe, I don't know why Sharrell had drawback on questions, because when they first started the interview, she said, okay, you said that I can ask any question, right? And he said, yes. But you got this dude down here and his bundled up in this damn jacket, looking like, you know, like a total distraction. I feel like this interview should have just been between Sharrell and Larry Reid. There were times where CONSCIOUZTV was throwing the interview off. Did you guys watch it? What are your thoughts on it? Do y'all think that Conscious was throwing it off a little bit? I felt like he was throwing it off. Can I get an amen? Let's get into it.
And so they began to move. But when I moved from Fayetteville to Raleigh, it was a short time period, probably from 2007 till about 2009. My house, Shamako, which was my assistant pastor at the time, now my vice president, our house was the main house, although we weren't the only house, but the main house is that people were moving up from Fayetteville, North Carolina to, from Fayetteville, North Carolina. That's right, from Fayetteville, North Carolina. And they'd get jobs, they would get houses and checking accounts and get everything they needed, then they would move out.
Okay, I see. That's
I'm a little bit lost. I'm lost because if you have a program and this is how your program is ran, why not get a facility and have staff? You know, like, that's putting money. This is how I'm thinking, right? Okay, if you're doing all this, you have the funds to get houses and things like that. Why not get a community center where people can get housing, people can get fed, they can get the word, they can get the services that they need, they can get their checking account and the life skills to move on out there in the world. Because I just feel like if you're just giving people things like that and not equipping them with the skills, if they fail to plan, they planning to fail. Just Z says, why Conscious is there? He is there to protect Larry. Yes. What's the one? Girl, it's given salt and pepper. It's given salt and pepper. But he needs to push it right on out this conversation. Because, sir, if you wasn't there, if your name is not on court documents, then you need to move on. Get up out of this conversation. This is not about you. But he's so thirsty for attention, like he was riding Tasha's tail. Oh, he had his nose all up in Tasha's tail. Oh, Tasha was the best thing since sliced bread a year ago. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yes, she was. It is what it is. I got a job to do. Hit that Cash App, hit that PayPal, hit that Zelle. We've been here for 1 hour and 6. Guys, if y'all liking the commentary, bless my Cash App. I'm an independent content creator, okay? And the donations that you guys send, they go into the channel. Queen Tulsa Show, Queen Tulsa Live in the Field. Queen Tulsa is a content personality that's broadcasted on YouTube, Instagram, and other social media. Please like, share, and subscribe to this independent channel for the people. Donations go to building this platform. Thanks for taking the time to watch. Remember to hit the like, the share, and subscribe buttons. Okay, the Cash App is right there on the screen, the PayPal and the Zelle. So if you feel it in your spirit to donate, I would surely appreciate it. Now let's get into the content.
Okay, so Levontre is listed as accuser number 1. And what would be his motive for lying on you?
I think this is an assumption, same thing with Tasha K. I think it's because that I dropped them. And he wasn't the only one, but he's the only one that
you dropped them. Now, when somebody say I dropped them, did you lay hands on them? You know, did you drop kick them? How did you drop them? Just C says those government programs for nonprofits are good, but can be ineffective when people in wrong reasons. Misappropriating funds, I think that's what that is. Misappropriating government funds.
say this stuff took place. Larry did not know Levontre at 14 and 15. His mama's testimony tells that, because when she came into church, she said he came 8 months later. He didn't even come into the church till he was 16 years old. I mean, you just need to tell the balanced story. Tell everything versus just your side for clicks and likes and to enter me and ride off my coattail.
Speaking of the plot thing, so is it Levontre went to the police, filed a police report, right? And put that address. What's the name of the street on there? But you're
Lusty.
Lusty. But you have evidence that that house was not even built yet?
Everybody can look it up. They got the whole address, 3216 Lusty Drive, Raleigh, North Carolina, 27610.
You know what? I'm over it at this point, because why didn't Larry just send Sharrell the information? Why did Conscious have to be there? Why did Conscious have to have the information up? You know? I don't know. There were a lot of things that, you know, rubbed me the wrong way. And just because I give commentary, that does not mean that I hate people. I'm just giving my point of view. Well, speaking of point of views, it's time for the Queen to roll on out. Hope you guys enjoy the commentary. Make sure you come back. I believe tomorrow I'll be going live again. Until tomorrow. Say something.